President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has re-emphasized the need to motivate scientists and innovators by funding their projects, but also increase remuneration for science government workers. President Museveni was officiating at the World Science Day at Kololo in Kampala.
Science, technology and innovation have been highlighted in the National Development Plan 3 as key to the transformation of the country. While officiating at the World Science Day at Kololo in Kampala, President Yoweri Museveni underlined the need to interest scientists and innovators in what they do.
We are just beginning, because I'm determined to make sure that first of all, the scientists working for the government are well paid. Awachwaro wagenda kuzijawo. Secondly, the efforts will be funded. All these efforts of our scientists will be funded. Funded by direct allocations, but also through UDB, because we are putting also quite a bit of money in UDB, where people can borrow at low interest. So therefore, I want to congratulate the scientists for, because what I saw here, you have already responded. There is no area where you have not. Where our people have not responded positively. Even somebody is trying to make an aircraft. So I congratulate you, and I wish to encourage you. The government will support you. We shall do it by ourselves. We don't have to depend on outside.
President Museveni is also concerned about the continuous importation of pharmaceutical products, emphasizing that the country should be able to produce some of these products.
The pathogenic economy. These diseases which have been causing us problems, they are a problem, but they are also a source of money. Other people have been earning money from diseases, making vaccines, making medicines. Yes, people are sick, but economy is also making money. Instead, Africa has been losing money on account of the sicknesses, always. Big hemorrhage. You import drugs for malaria, you import drugs for echidukano, you import drugs for everything. How will the country develop?
Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Monica Musenero, wants scientists and innovators to aim at products that promote industrialization to steer the economic growth of the country.
Alongside this awakened scientific and innovative community, Your Excellency, we now have capacity built in a number of institutions at government and private universities and other institutions. We have some capacity for sophisticated manufacturing, like we have the CNC machines in 2 institutions. Now in Uganda, we can make 3D printing. We can manufacture a number of electronics and electronic circuit boards. And this builds a foundation. And so we are ready now to build startups.
The World Science Day is observed annually on 10th November to highlight the role of science in development, but also draw the attention of world leaders to realize the benefits of investing in science and technology. Adiana Kuti, UBC.
Over 200 officials from the Office of the Prime Minister have pitched camp at the National Leadership Center in Chankwanzi to strategize for better service delivery and give visible accountability to the public for better transformation. Opening the retreat, Prime Minister Robina Nabanja urged the officials to move out of their comfort zones, go to the field and do needs assessment than wasting government resources with no result.
Prime Minister Robina Nabanja was welcomed by a guard of honor at the National Leadership Center in Chankwanzi, where all officials and technocrats have camped for a 4-day retreat on how they can stimulate and drive Uganda's rapid economic transformation. While addressing participants, Prime Minister Nabanja urged participants to always ensure that the goals of the ruling NRM Manifesto 2021-2026 are delivered with tangible results on ground, as opposed to mere having good paperwork with no results.
My dear brothers and sisters, we must go on the ground, I mean the field, dirten our hands, roll our sleeves to see for ourselves, supervise on behalf of government with a focus on what we read in reports, in other documents, and make a comparison.
Nabanja also says top on her agenda is to redeem the image of the Office of the Prime Minister, as opposed to the previous one that was tinted with corruption scandals.
Really, can you love your country and love the people of Uganda and buy rotten beans? If you love your country, can you buy blankets which are smaller than lags? Really? And you want us, the political leaders, to support you? Really? Sometimes you make our work difficult. Pan-Africanism. And he was very categorical when he talked about service delivery. Service delivery for you and me and you and him, for all of us. We have to be transparent and accountable as we use the resources entrusted to us. We must at all times ensure value for money in whatever we do. Stealing and misuse of public funds can no longer be tolerated.
To Minister Kasula Lumumba, she emphasized the role of leaders in governance to better the lives of people they serve.
In most areas, the public has lost confidence and trust in the office of the Prime Minister. So the current Prime Minister has tried as much as possible to work on it. When you evaluate, the bad publicity is caused by just a small element of the quality of the food in some areas, not all areas, but also on the quality of the supplies for some areas. And that has marred the whole face of the office of the Prime Minister. And yet this is the engine of government. So we are here to also work hard to make sure we improve on our visibility, service delivery, but also to increase on our the believability of the community in us as Office of the Prime Minister.
The Commissioner to the Civil Service College of Uganda, Savia Mugwanya, the retreat is timely to enable technocrats better coordinate and implement services at grassroots level.
To know is that when we come to Nali, we also get components of the mindset and professional ethos that a public servant must have if they are going to be well grounded in terms of being, because we are citizens first before we become public officers. So Nali has a packaging of learning that allows for public officers to be grounded in terms of the national ideology, in terms of the mindset orientation that every citizen should have, but also every public officer should be having.
National Leadership Center was established to provide ideological direction to Ugandans to ensure those in public offices serve with efficiency, effectiveness, and provide accountability in everything they do. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is expected to officiate the closing ceremony, which is on Thursday this week. Reporting for ABC TV, Helen Barbara, Gizamba.
Government, through Minister for General Duties Justin Kasule Lumumba, has partnered with Interreligious Council to localize the implementation of the SDGs and ensure zero poverty, hunger, among other goals by 2030. Religious entities receive most of the people to give them hope, and it's through their strength that the goals shall be achieved.
In the fight to end poverty, hunger, among other sustainable development goals, Interreligious Council of Uganda, in collaboration with Government of Uganda, have committed to localize the implementation of these goals with an aim of reaching the ordinary people.
They always feel more free to open up to you because you are readily available with good attitude and spirit. For us, sometimes we may not have the good attitude and spirit, but you people, because of what you go through, the training and whatnot, you always keep good attitude.
Continues to mobilize communities to support and participate in the government programs. SDGs can only be realized through strong global partnerships and cooperation.
Lumumba thinks this partnership is to help them address the challenges that came with the COVID-19 pandemic.
The pandemic has made us make some steps backward. So it requires a lot of encouragement and steps for us to help and support each other to move and take on the new challenge, especially in the area of looking at the girl child. Now that schools have been closed, you have had many coming to your offices to come and cry, to your homes, even on the roadside, to come and show you how hopeless they are, but they have hope in you.
During the same conference, Lumumba reiterated that religious entities have got all the powers to help them close the gap of ending poverty, since everyone runs to them for hope.
You are always with the most vulnerable, much more than us, government. You are always reaching out to the farthest, and they confide in you, they find more comfort in you. In most times, much more than us.
Shaidat in Nasaku, UBC News.
Minister for Education and Sports Janet Kataha Museveni has urged high institutions of learning to transform from physical face-to-face methods of learning to the new normal of e-learning to catch up with the challenges and effects of the COVID-19 in the education sector. This was at the 12th exhibition of student innovations and launch of the virtual e-learning portal for universities and tertiary institutions of learning, where she attended virtually.
The pandemic affecting the education sector highly, different stakeholders are coming up with innovations on how the sector can cope up with the effects. The National Council for Higher Education has launched a virtual e-learning portal for universities and tertiary institutions, aiming at teaching and disseminating information to higher institutions.
This is important because the information so provided gives guidance to students and parents before they make choices of institutions and programs of study.
The portal has capacity to host over 200 universities to help students identify innovative opportunities.
As Council, we are looking at the strategies that can be adopted to guide institutions on how to continue during this pandemic.
With the COVID-19 slowing the education sector, the Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, urged higher institutions to welcome the new dictum measures of learning to catch up with the effects.
To shift from face-to-face classroom interactions to online learning. This prompted the development of the emergence of the system, online conferences, and now online exhibition.
The minister also attributes need for innovation opportunities in higher learning and institutions under this COVID-19 pandemic.
To have innovations and strategies that will guide the country on how to address the challenges, not just for the COVID-19 pandemic.
However, the council still encounters challenges in maintaining the e-learning method and urges government to provide support in providing infrastructures in order to yield good results.
Slow pace of adaptability as well as inability to meet related costs.
This was the 12th National Council for Higher Education Innovation Exhibition, where different universities showcased innovations built in the COVID-19 era. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
The Director Manifesto Implementation Unit has been directed to compile information at regional level for ministries, departments and agencies implementation focal persons to share the progress of the ruling party manifesto implementation with resident city and district commissioners. The directive was by the Minister for Presidency, Babidia Mili Babalanda, at the opening of a meeting with all manifesto focal point officers in Kampala.
The Minister for Presidency, Babidemire Babalanda, has officiated the opening of a meeting comprising of Manifesto focal point officers in Kampala with a call of sharing the progress of the NRM Manifesto implementation with resident city and district commissioners. Minister Babalanda says the image of government will continue to fade on account of lazy communicators and urged permanent secretaries and Manifesto focal persons to remind government communicators to counter negative propaganda.
You may think that Seven and his NRM people are the only ones to be affected in case of such a change, but I wish to remind you that we are all serving the NRM government and all of us, politicians and civil servants alike, will face the same reactions from the public.
Babalanda says permanent secretaries should ensure that their respective public relations officers appear in the media to respond to negative publicity in their dockets.
It is our collective responsibility to ensure that we clear the image of government by sharing with the public information on government programs and progress of implementing the manifesto. This will restore hope in the public. I want to admit that the 2021 NUP wave caught us unawares and it gained momentum on propaganda largely due to our negligence and laziness. This situation must be reversed.
NRM Party Secretary General Richard Todong says the population can only love the ruling party more if its manifesto is correctly implemented. Todong, however, was quick at pointing out the skyrocketing corruption that has reduced the party support.
If you are sick and you go to a health center and the doctor keeps saying, no, you're okay, just get painkiller, go back home, but you keep coming back to the health center because you're not feeling well. And the doctor keeps saying, no, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. Drink water, rest, drink water, rest, drink water, rest. But your condition is not improving. What do? That is how we are with the population and corruption. We in office are saying, we're okay, everything is okay. People are just shouting, there is nothing. But the people say, no, there is something. You're not seeing it properly. You're not seeing it properly. So what is it that we are not seeing that the people are seeing?
The Director, Manifesto Implementation Unit, Willis Bashasha, is optimistic that meeting Manifesto focal persons will help in improving the synergy on the progress of the Manifesto.
There are issues of corruption related to forgeries and other related aspects, but also delays on implementation because by nature of acquisition, it has not been an easy process. Maybe there is a need to revisit the land laws.
Government communicators have been urged to follow discussions on issues of service delivery. So that Kaye, UBC News.
Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has urged Kayunga district leaders to focus on issues affecting their voters as one of the reasons they were voted for. He was speaking at the second district council meeting held at the district headquarters. Baryomunsi emphasized unity and peacemaking in the district.
Kayunga District Council has held its second meeting to panel beat on how to develop the district as well as serving people better. The Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Wariamonsi, who was part of the meeting, has urged the leaders in Kayunga to work for the interests of people.
Not to look at petty small things of constituency and so forth. Have a bigger picture of Kayunga, and then we work together to develop our district.
He emphasized unity and peacemaking among leaders for the well development of the district and people they lead.
We shall continue working together like that. If it is electricity, we move. If it is roads, we move to Ministry of Works. If it requires meeting the President, we meet him so that we can get something for the people of Kayunga.
In his report to the council, the resident district commissioner said Kayunga district has in the past 3 months registered a number of internal murders, rising from cases of domestic violence and land disputes.
These murder cases come out from within the families and also the fight over estates of deceased persons.
Story compiled by Jenny Romogisha and Irene Nakungu for UBC News.
Police in Kasese is investigating circumstances under which 2 juveniles were injured by an item suspected to be a bomb. The victims are Manifesto, aged 13, and Mumbere Gilbert, 11 years old, all residents of Karamoja, Nyamwamba division in Kasese municipality. These are currently nursing serious injuries at Kilembe Mines Hospital in Kasese municipality.
2 juveniles are currently nursing injuries at Kilembe Mines Hospital sustained from a suspected bomb blast in Karamoja, Nyamwamba division in Kasese municipality. The acting public relations officer Renzori East Police Station, ASP Tumwine Marusia, says the duo were hit by a metallic substance which they collected as scrap around the nearest UPDF training center. Tumwine says despite collecting the items near the UPDF training center, it is still not clear if it was an item left behind by the army.
The ground is specified, and when you are training, we cannot conclusively say that what blasted was from the training ground. It could have come from another point, but it was near the training range ground of the UPDF.
Masika Eve, a resident who deals in buying and selling scrap, narrates that she was the first person to hold it when the children brought it for sale as scrap, but later refused it and the miners took it back.
Natandika kukakebera naleba akantu tinkachenga nabuza abantu teka kantu mwakiha bagira ngo nturuga kuri wowe abasurukale naje nti mwaza kundetera bomu banamu nti mugaruze.
The area councillor, Herbert Bwambale, urged parents to remain keen in monitoring the movements of their children during this time of the pandemic. The hospital administrator, Chibaya Onesma, says the victims will recover well.
The chairperson tests religious leaders' efforts for peace and reconciliation. Bishop Charles Bernard Bitu Obaikaul has advised Karamoja to acquire land titles in order to deter land grabbers during the current regional mineral rush. He said this during the Teso Karamoja dialogue held in Moroto municipality.
Karamojongs and Itesots are genetically believed to be siblings who belong to the Ateka cluster. However, the Karamojongs' culture norm of cattle rustling, especially to the neighboring regions of Acholi, Lango, among others, left them with almost no animals and created enmity among both tribes. Now, Teso religious leaders' efforts for peace and reconciliation, together with Peace and Justice Desk at Moroto Catholic Diocese, have organized a dialogue to engage with religious, political and security leaders from both communities, come up with ways on how to strengthen bondage between the two tribes.
We will also want together to identify the challenges that challenge the peace which will enable us to develop.
Religious leaders express the need to disarm the spiritual part of people.
But to disarm the heart is not an easy exercise, which means that we have to double our efforts to see how we can spiritually handle this disarmament.
However, porous borders and concealment of information are still a challenge to end the insecurity.
The people who raid the Karajuna are our sons, our uncles, our grandsons or children. We know them, but nobody will reveal.
The chairperson of Teso Religious Leaders' Efforts for Peace and Reconciliation, Bishop Charles Bernard Obaikol Ebitu, says they want government to ensure protection and sustainability of livelihoods after disarmament.
That something can sustain the lives of those people. How can they be protected? How can the animals that they have be protected so that they don't feel insecure after being disarmed?
Ebitu urged educated Karamojongs to sensitize the locals on ownership acquisition on the land.
An area which is endued with minerals. So Karamoja may lose its land to the haves. Those who have opportunities, those who have money.
Meanwhile, Bishop Ebitu wants government to allocate percentage from the minerals to Karamojong.
So, if it is there, can the Karamojong be let know what exactly they are benefiting?
The government of Iceland has donated medical equipment worth $1,578 to Namaingo district to manage the COVID-19 situation in the fishing communities. The consignment was handed over to the district leadership, as we see in this report.
Namaingo district has a COVID-19 positivity rate at 23% in the year 2021, putting the fishing community at risk. Being a hard-to-reach area, Namaingo suffers a great deal when it comes to accessing service delivery in terms of good health, education, development, and many others. Through the ambassador of Iceland to Uganda, Her Excellency Thodis Sigudaide, Namaingo has received $1,578 to cater for COVID-19 equipment, including oxygen cylinders, hospital beds, face masks, hand-washing facilities, motorcycles, and many others.
The government of Iceland appreciates the effort and pledges solidarity with the district in the fight against the virus. We hope our humble contribution of $150,762 for equipment and materials will contribute to your effort in the fight against COVID-19.
According to the district health officer Matthias Mangeni, the interventions of the Iceland embassy are mainly geared towards achieving the sustainable goal 4, which is education. Mangeni is optimistic that if this goal is achieved, then goal 3, which is health, will also be catered for.
Once you improve education, in the long run we are seeing in Namaingo, sustainable development goal 3 improving generally. That is health, because majority of the poor health indicators in the district are attributable to child and maternal health. And once we retain these girls in schools, improve education indicators, health automatically is going to improve.
The ambassador also had a tour of the education projects funded by her government and applauded the district heads for the good work well done.
See the progress of the project we have been supporting since early this year, and we are actually very impressed and we find the progress very good, so we are very happy to be here. What we have seen so far is impressive, and we congratulate you all for what has been done here.
With the construction of the new schools in the district, the Chief Administrative Officer Edith Namaiga says the district is delighted to recruit over 100 new teachers to improve on the quality of education in the district.
That with the reopening of schools in the month of January,
our teachers will be supported, and their skills will be enhanced with these trainings, and therefore they will be able to take through the learners comfortably.
The general public has therefore been called upon to take their children to school come the year 2022 when schools resume.
We shall arrest them and prosecute them because they are sabotaging government program. You know that the policy of government says every child, every school-going child must go to school. And that's what we are going to ensure here, especially in Namayingo, where I am.
Someone who was here 1 year back and saw the picture that was at Kumeru, when children were studying under mango tree shades, when children were studying under makeshift shelters. And today, a few months down the road, with your support, we see great and powerful infrastructure in this place. We glorify God.
I am Mary Namkose in Namayingo District.
Minister of State for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives David Bahati has called upon African leaders to maintain peace as the only way to boost trade on the continent. Bahati spoke to UBC at the sidelines of the dialogue on the African Continental Free Trade Area held at Serena Hotel in Kampala on the theme Unlocking Uganda's Potential in the African Continental Free Trade Area. The African Continental Free Trade Area is a landmark initiative with the potential to bring sustainable, transformative change to Africa through promotion of regional trade and assisting African countries to achieve robust economic growth and sustainable development.
Yes, for us to be able to trade, money does not need the noise of guns. We must make sure at a continental level and through the African Union that we continue to appeal to the leaders on the continent that for us to be able to take advantage of this continental market, guns must go silent. And to do this, we need to encourage business across. Actually, that's one of the objectives of this market of the continent. Because when people are trading with each other, they will not fight with each other. When people are making deals, they will not be able to engage in wars. And therefore, we appeal to all leaders on the continent that guns are a hindrance to trade, are a hindrance to development. Let's sit together and resolve whatever issues are there so that we can allow our citizens to trade with each other without any interruption of guns.
High Court Judge Philip Odoki has directed the applicants in the matter where Ministry of Health and Government were dragged to court for putting restrictions on places of worship to file their rejoinder on the 16th of March 2022. The development arises from the late filing of the response by the prosecution on the matter before court, although the case was filed on the 3rd of August 2021 by the applicant. A city pastor, Wisdom Peter Katumba of Christ Fellowship Limited, and Imam Bale Muhammad filed the case asking court to compel government to lift the restrictions on places of worship.
The respondents, that is the Attorney General and the Ministry of Health, they delayed to file their reply to our application. In fact, they served us this morning on the day of the hearing. So we were unable to proceed because, one, we had just received their response, which I think is a delaying tactic for them to come and serve us today on the day of the hearing. So unfortunately, the matter has been adjourned to March next year on the 16th. So to enable the applicants to put in a rejoinder, and then on that day we shall appear in court and then see what happens.
Our prayers in the application, one, we would want the court to lift all the restrictions that were placed against the places of worship, especially because we find them discriminative. We see no justification in opening marketplaces without capping numbers, and yet the numbers that go to places of worship are capped. All right, and then we see no justification in discriminating some people like the children and the elderly from church, yet they go to the markets. There are children in the markets and there are elderly people in the markets. Why are they stopped from coming to church? Actually, as a scientist, there are so many papers that are coming out today that are rejecting that entire theory. When you go to other nations, schools are open, marketplaces are open, and they are not restricting children and elderly people from going to church, places of worship. Why is it here in Uganda? So the case has not been overtaken by events, because the very prayers we made before the court have not yet been answered. And those are the issues of discrimination. The other thing I might add is that the foundation of religion is faith. So one of our prayers.
The direct mobilization of the ruling NRM party, Rose Seninde, has appealed to the NRM local leaders in Kayunga to avoid internal conflicts and focus on promotion of government programs such as parish model and others that seek to uplift the standards of living for Ugandans. Seninde made the remarks upon arrival in Kayunga from Bukedde sub-region, I beg your pardon, in the eastern parts of Uganda.
And in the central region, we gave our priority to Kayunga. Why? Because Kayunga is very fundamental. As far as NRM is concerned, Kayunga has been supporting NRM very strongly. But the challenges in Kayunga may not be from the opposition. The challenges in Kayunga are from within the NRM party. That is why we thought it was very important to come and visit Kayunga and help the people appreciate the challenges. Together we get the views of the people and we see how to actually address some of these issues together with them. I want to appreciate His Excellency the President and the entire government, because many things have been done. The bridge has made a big contribution to the economic development of the people around that area. And of course, a lot of things have happened in the medical sector as far as Kayunga is concerned.
If there are any challenges that made them not vote NRM, we wish to apologize and request them that going forward, let us support the government programs. Let us look at the parish model and get involved so that we can liberate our people out of poverty.
The disunity between Karamoja and Nantaba has also made His Excellency the President to forget each and everything in Kayunga.
We thank you so much for watching. Let's take this short break. We have more on return. Please keep it with us.
Today in history.
On the 10th of November 1995, Ken Saro-Wiwa, a Nigerian environmental activist, was hanged in Nigeria along with 8 other activists. Saro-Wiwa, an outspoken critic of Nigeria's military regime, was charged by the Nigerian government with the 1994 murder of 4 pro-military traditional leaders. Before his death, Saro-Wiwa won Sweden's prestigious Right Livelihood Award and had also been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Everyone is talking about MTN shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*6 65 hash or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Kagalino twalekedde ekyatulese tuzze tukalanga enfunda eziwerako ddala eno yego TV Super ey'abakaguje njagala weekaani ewatali kwemamaaza olwo tuba tusimbudde ne Go TV Super Duper waawawa era nga bakutuusyako ekiga ekyabakabejja abasajja eŋŋwaŋŋuli kwogata ne busineema obujjudde omuhabati ku mitwalo 5,015 waawawa soka bulaza weefunye ekirungo kya Go TV Super ekijjudde obulungi ove mu baaje.
Introducing Learn From Home Data Bundles. Customized bundles for you and your family to study or work seamlessly from the comfort of your home. Use any of these affordable data bundles to connect to your Mi-Fi routers, laptops, tablets, and smartphones while avoiding unwanted internet exposure and ensuring undivided attention during online classes. Enjoy instant access to Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and selected educational websites. Dial *175# to buy your Learn From Home bundle today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Terms and conditions apply.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN mobile money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
Minister of State for ICT Joyce Nabbosa-Ssebuggwawo has announced the appointment of a Business Processing Outsourcing and Innovation Council. The council will work with the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance to formulate strategies for creating jobs for the youth through ICT outsourcing and innovation. As Helen Jizamba reports, the council will also prescribe regulatory frameworks and projects relevant to the growth of the business processing outsourcing.
The government of Uganda has embarked on an initiative to develop the business processing, outsourcing and innovation sectors in Uganda as one of the key areas that government can exploit as a long-term solution to addressing issues of unemployment amongst the educated youth. According to statistics from Uganda Bureau of Statistics, 30,000 youth leave university each year, and these are English-speaking and ICT literate. However, majority of them are floating in the streets with no jobs. In a move to address the unemployment rates in Uganda, the government, through the Line Ministry of ICT, has unveiled the Business Processing Outsourcing and Innovation Council, whose core mandate will be to formulate strategies of creating jobs for the youth.
Today, we are here to collectively agree that the business process outsourcing and the innovation sector of Uganda has carved out a niche amongst the many treasures that are residents in the nation. Professor William Bazeyo and your team, the issue of youth unemployment must be addressed. Innovation Hub. We have constructed an innovation hub at Nakawa. This is a 1,000-seater facility. This hub should be in operation so that our youth can utilize it. The PS, now that we have the council in place, work with them to commission this facility. We need to plan the construction of region innovation hubs.
Led by the globally celebrated ICT expert, Professor William Bazeyo, the council includes distinguished ICT professionals from the academia, public and private sector. However, through the Ministry of ICT, the government has adopted an ICT-led socio-economic policy to accelerate development with a focus of ICT entrepreneurship development, rejuvenation of the private sector, and wealth creation in the National Development Plan, Phase 3, and the NRM Manifesto 2021-2026.
As a government, we need to lead in the creation of employment opportunities for the youth. As an example, why do some agencies continue to use software developed by foreign entities? I instruct the PS to issue a stern circular to all the accounting officers. We should not allow for procurement of foreign software, yet we have competent Ugandans. This should be immediate.
Meanwhile, the Permanent Secretary to the ICT Ministry, Dr. Amina Zawede, congratulated the various council members upon their appointment.
Issue of youth unemployment in this country. The panel of specialists with experience that we have hunted for a long time is going to help us to address what we call business process outsourcing and innovation challenge that the country is facing at the moment. The interventions we are going to undertake to ensure that we support this BPO and Innovation Council in the execution of their duties. These interventions include mainly 5 key things. One is going to be brand Uganda as a BPO destination and innovation hub of excellence.
Helen Barbara Gisamba, Stephen Karusha, reporting.
Uganda has assured potential German investors who are currently here on an 8-day business, trade and tourism visit of a favorable investment environment. The prospecting investors from Germany were however cautioned against condoning corruption by Okelorium, State Minister for Foreign Affairs, as we see in this with Dennis Sigor.
This is the first business delegation from Germany in 2 years and signifies a steady return to normalcy after the unprecedented impact of the COVID-19 pandemic to air travel. Currently, the bilateral trade between the two countries is estimated at 166 million euros per annum.
If any government official or anybody asks you that, give me a percentage in your business or give me, something because I helped you, do not give it to them. Tell the German ambassador that Mr. This and this official from government or this person who is commissioner, director, public secretary asked me for a bribe. Tell the German ambassador, we'll deal with that person immediately.
It's by the will of us to move our two countries' relations to the next level, where we view each other as partners in sustainable business ventures that will create value for both our societies.
Both countries are encouraged to exploit the immense trade and investment prospects in sectors such as manufacturing, mining, engineering and agriculture, among others.
Looking at the delegations list, I see all the big relevant areas represented: agriculture, engineering, construction, communication, trading, just to name the main areas. And that makes me optimistic that there will be a tangible outcome from this trip and that it will serve as an example for more German companies to engage with Uganda for mutual benefit.
The tax body used the main conference in Kampala to lure the potential investors by disclosing some of the tax incentives that make Uganda the best investment destination globally.
The first criteria is that for any investor who is interested in developing an industrial park or a free zone with a minimum capital investment of $50 million for foreign investors or $10 million for the East African citizens, they will enjoy a 10-year income tax exemption.
The 8-day German delegation visit to Uganda is on the theme Transforming Uganda through Sustainable Business Partnerships and Technological Transfer. Uganda's and Germany's bilateral ties dates back to the post-colonial era, to be precise 57 years ago, and since then these two friendly countries have enjoyed a cordial relationship with tangible benefits. Dennis Igor for UBC News in Kampala.
Deposit money onto your Airtel Money account. Reactivate your Airtel Money account with a deposit of a minimum of 1,000 shillings and get 10 minutes free Airtel to Airtel calls valid for 24 hours. Offers applicable for a one-time transaction. Terms and conditions apply. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Kagalino twalekedde ekyatulese tuzze tukalanga enfunda eziwerako ddala eno yego TV Super ey'abakaguje njagala wekkaanyi ewatali kwemamaaza olwo tuba tusimbudde ne Go TV Super dupa waawawa era nga bakutuusaako ekigo eky'abakabejja abasajja emwaŋŋuli kwogata ne busineema obujjudde omuhabati ku 5,015 waawawa soka bulaza weefunye ekirungo kya Go TV Super ekijjudde obulungi ove mu baaje.
Raising Voices.
I feel happy when my father spends time with me. I hope all fathers will like my father. I want my father to reach out to all fathers. He knows how important it is to be a good father. I promise to help my father inspire other fathers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising Voices.
The Uganda Cranes national football team soars higher yet again to qualify for the much-anticipated World Cup in Qatar 2022 with a game against Kenya. Support our boys from the comfort of your home with friends and family as Uganda takes on Kenya on 11th November at St. Mary's Chitenda Stadium starting 4 p.m. Uganda Cranes Paka Qatar with Airtel, the official sponsor of the Uganda Cranes football team.
UBC Sports News tonight. Uganda Baseball and Softball Association has started its regional championship. The 4-team championship has started with the Dodgers Academy hosting Eastern Region at the FVRS School in Nachirebe.
With the lockdown becoming a thing of the past, various sports federations are up and running. One such is Uganda Baseball and Softball Association that has organized its regional championship with the first game at the FVRS school in Nakirebe, Mpigi district.
I believe the coaches in different regions of the country, they have put in more effort in creating hitters, pitchers. So I believe in all aspects of baseball, we have improved.
The championship is of 4 teams, Eastern, Central, Northern and the Elite Dodgers Academy that has hosted Eastern in the opening game in Nachirebe.
Yeah, these guys have taken a long time off with the pandemic, so considering all of that, the guys look very sharp. They came ready to play, and we're excited for another exciting tournament.
The regional championship that will also be hosted at the Baseball Center in Gayaza has attracted star players including Isaac Odong, Michael Omeri, Felix Champala and Hilary Kasuja.
We are very ready to really show our best. We are really ready to really show them that the Eastern region is really the best place when it comes to baseball.
Excellent players will represent Uganda against Kenya in a friendly next month and will also be maintained to chase Olympics qualification next year. John Barnes, Sentamu, reporting.
Uganda has been blessed with another boxing ring, which has officially been unveiled by the Uganda Professional Boxing Commission President Salim Uhuru.
The boxing fraternity has welcomed into Uganda another boxing ring, which is courtesy of Big Fight Night promotion. It has been unveiled by Uganda Professional Boxing Commission President Salim Uhuru, who called for right use to benefit boxing sport.
Good enough I've seen is not only in boxing but wherever it takes to make his business, because he's there as a promoter. So being a promotion company, it is business for him, and we're here to support you and we shall support him. So I call upon all promoters registered under UPBC, where I'm the president, please use this facility. I don't know the fee yet, but I'm sure it's going to be an affordable fee, not those crazy figures that we have been hiring, because at times promoters have a challenge in hiring such facilities.
The ring, estimated at 60 million shillings, is a world standard 24 by 24 feet on the outside, while the canvas is 19 by 19 and is 8 feet high. Its home is the old Kampala Sports Arena, where Big Fight Night promotions are preparing to organize a major event in December. John Barnes, Sentamu, reporting.
Former Uganda Cranes captain Dennis Onyango has advised discipline, commitment and hard work to Uganda's youngsters. Onyango was at the official launch of the project to promote talents that's ably implemented as part of fulfilling President Yoweri Museveni's manifesto.
In his capacity as ambassador of a talent promoting project that is supported as part of President Yoweri Museveni's manifesto, Dennis Onyango has offered counsel to Ugandan youth.
When they stay focused and work hard and focus on their job, it will make them better players and probably better goalkeepers than me.
This was at the occasion at which he officially became ambassador of Festo Web Sports Management, the architects behind Team Fundi, which is set to travel to Spain for a football showcase drive in January 2022. Under this project, a group of Ugandan footballers is to be part of the Uganda-Spain football showcase at the Benadom Alicante Stadium in Spain.
FUFA management receives the communication, and also the FUFA president is fully aware and briefed on this program.
Excellent Ugandans will get a chance for trials at several Spanish lower league teams. Team Fundi is of established but largely youthful Ugandan players including Alpha Sali, Ivan Irinimbabazi, Derek Emokule and Stephen Desemukwala. John Barnes, Sentamu, reporting.
Following the Masazaga Buganda Football Committee 2021 releasing this year's fixtures and arrangements of the tournament, various counties have started to prepare by organizing tournaments aiming at getting good players. The Singo and Busuju counties, in partnership with Mityana Football Association, have organized Mityana District Tournament, having 16 teams participating, which is also aimed at sourcing for the best players for the two counties which now are on the quarterfinals, which played at Nama Playground in Mityana Municipality.
The football tournament aimed at preparing for the Masaza Gabuganda 2021 football competition, codenamed Mityana District Tournament, have reached the quarter-finals at Nama Playground, with various teams participating in the games. The tournament, organized by Mityana Football Association, over 16 football teams from Singo and Busuju counties are participating, and according to the organizers, they also target scouting for talent for the forthcoming Masaza Gabuganda football tournament.
to expose their talent so that they can go beyond our local football.
In the opening match of the quarter-finals at Nama Playground in Mityana Municipality, Ntungasaze FC defeated Manyi United FC by 2-0 in the game that attracted many supporters from both sides. The 2 goals by Ntungasaze FC were scored in the 46th minutes of the second half by Conrad Senjogera, and in the 79th minute, Geoffrey Naganga scored the second goal.
Our team is, we are playing as one. We are together, and most of the teams we don't train nowadays. And most of them are just from places. The players come from the other places. Manyi tusozimbirako busujju kuba etimu yokenye busujje y'amaanyi ate ng'esobola okujja Mityana disitulikiti newulikika nti y'amaanyi kitegeeza ttiimu eba y'amaanyi musaza ly'ebusujju bwe beesobola okujja ne mu mpiira gya disitulikiti Mityana neevuganya.
According to the Secretary General, Mityana Football Association, Peter Simon, says 16 teams participated in the Mityana District Tournament, reached now the quarter-finals, and finals expected to be held on the 17th November 2021.
And that brings us to the end of all we had for you. Thank you so much for watching. With a relook at the top stories, we'll call it an evening.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
President Yoweri Museveni commends scientists and pledged bigger funding. Minister for Education and Sports advocates for e-learning. Bachelor's degree becomes prerequisite for teaching at all levels. While Baseball and Softball Association starts regional championship.
Was brought to you by Everywhere you go, MTN.
That brings us to the end of all we had for you tonight. Because we have Behind the Headlines at exactly 10 p.m. This is where Newsroom ends, and we'll hand you over to the next program as we prepare for Behind the Headlines. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakon and the whole team. We then wish you the best of the night. Bye-bye.
Hello there, welcome to today's weather report. I'm Alitubeda Juliet. Today, most parts of the country have had sunny intervals, and later in the afternoon, we had a pickup of light showers in southwestern Uganda and a few areas across the country. There is a reduction in wet weather activities, and when we look at the satellite image, it shows that just a part of a rain belt is covering southwestern Uganda, and it is benefiting from that. The rest of the country is experiencing suppression of wet weather activities due to the high pressure centers over land that are pushing in dry winds and leading to reduction in these activities. For tomorrow morning, we are expecting light rains across Lake Victoria Basin. Elsewhere, we shall have sunny intervals. Later in the afternoon, we expect sunny intervals to prevail still in most parts of the country, but a pickup of light showers in some parts in southwestern, the western, and around Lake Victoria Basin. The maximum temperatures are expected to be somehow warm at a temperature of 32 degrees centigrade for the Karamoja region and the northern sector. Around Lake Victoria Basin, we expect a range of 28 to 29 degrees centigrade. Kasese 31 is expected. And for southwestern Uganda, we are expecting a temperature of 24 degrees centigrade. Elsewhere on the globe, we are still expecting Moscow to have snow falling and a temperature of just 3 degrees centigrade. Nairobi shall have showers at a temperature of 28 degrees centigrade. Dubai sunny, whereas London will experience showers at a temperature of 14 degrees centigrade. Thank you for keeping us company. Join us tomorrow for another edition of the Weather Report. Have a wonderful night.
In 2018, Margot decided to take a break from retirement and her home in the quiet little German village of Tonhosbach to embark on an adventure, a marathon motorbike trip to Iran.